What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Zach. Look, I know I haven't been every day with doing mental health check-ins, and I apologize for that. I take full responsibility for that because that's something that this is with YouTube is something that I would love to, that I love doing. Unfortunately, yes. Recently, my last couple months, I've had a lot going on. I've had bad elbow from when I fell, like I told y'all a while back, getting in my truck. Uh, Also, with I had my wrist messed up as well, but my wrist is better now. It's just my elbow. It seems like that's gonna take a while to get healed up. But with that said, this is your mental health check in. How are you? How have you been? I know some days are a lot better than others. I know that. Trust me. All too well, I know that. But no matter what you go through, we'll get through it. And I know, sadly, that a lot of people think there's only one answer when they're going through depression or any kind of mental problem or any kind of mental, issues. And that's not the way to go. That's not the answer. I promise you. I promise you. That's not the answer. And like I said, I know a lot of times, different situations. Like I said, I don't know anybody's situations, um, except for the facts of the ones that I've dealt with, um, or that I've spoke with. On here. Also, like I've told you, with my buddy who's got cerebral palsy, that I stuck up for him when he got bullied the last time, which was 10 years ago, over 10 years. But you know, you only know someone's name, not their story. But we all have a 100% different, also 100% true story about us. So with that said, again, I apologize. I apologize myself. Um, I apologize that I haven't been, consistent with posting, every day with doing mental health check-ins. Because I just have my mind on, this with my elbow and everything else. It's just like it's there, But I really hope that you all are doing well. Um, Again, yes, I am still in the process of trying to make this into a working, paying job. Because, again, I love to help people. I love to help people. That's how I was born and raised. And that's how I'm always going to be. Now, yes, as a person in a wheelchair, we go through a lot more. And sometimes I can understand it. Sometimes it's not easy for, like a person walking to maybe understand things. And that's okay. 100% okay. But it's also okay to ask questions. And I strongly, strongly urge and encourage you to ask questions. Ask me questions that you may not know the answer to, or you would like me to explain. And I'll do that. I'm more than happy to do that. I'm more than happy to do that for you. Because like I said, this is mental health, and mental health is more than is extremely important, and that's why I do this. Now, like I said, I've been out for a little bit because of obviously my elbow. I've been in some excruciating pain for the last couple months, if not longer. Honestly, it feels longer than it has been. I'll put it that way to you. But, that's the one thing that's been going on. And like I said, I love doing this. I love being able to motivate, inspire, and try to help as many people as I can get through anything that you or they go through. Meaning, when I say you or they, meaning, it can be somebody that's, that I see in person. And that's why I say they. When I say you, I'm talking about you here on YouTube. Because even when I'm not here on YouTube, I still try and say, I've always said, this is what I've been through. I'm always going to be open ears. My ears are always open. My phone's always on. So that's what I say. If and when I'm not posting, if I say I'm not posting here on, YouTube, even then, my ears are always open. I promise you. Yes, I pulled my necklace out because it was itching, but that's one that I'm proud of as well. Because I'll tell you what, the meaning behind this necklace is also, you see the black bullet is my dad. These are his ashes when he passed away February 6th, 2019, from a massive heart attack. And the cross is from my mom that gave me the necklace, or the cross. She gave me this necklace when I went into 7th grade. When I started high school, and I was in 7th grade, and I've had it on ever since. The only time that I take my necklace off is obviously surgeries. If I have to have surgery, if I had to have surgery, which I haven't had to have for a long time. Years, to be honest with you. The last one I had was back in 2007 when I had my hamstring surgery. But with that said, again, your mental health is more important. It's more important than anybody realizes, there's a lot of people that, yeah, there is a lot of people that realize it, that mental health is really important. But then again, there's some people out there that think, that's what they say. Don't worry about what they say. And with that said, again, mental health is really extremely important. So with that said, also, if you have questions about anything, I mean, like any from either from this YouTube video or from any YouTube video that I've posted, feel free to ask me. Feel free to ask me about, that certain video. Make sure that you tell me what the title was, what video that was. That way I can say, okay, that's what that's about. Make sure you tell me what the title of the video is that you have questions about. You can ask me. And I'm more than happy to tell you. More than happy to tell you. I talk to you about that. So again, that's why, it's what's taken me longer than, it has to be able to do this, or to do this. I mean, I know it was 2 days ago when I posted it here on YouTube. But I mean, I haven't done, the mental health check-ins every day. And that's one of the biggest main reasons why I haven't. And of course, it's just everyday life, but that's 99.9% reason why I haven't done that. So for that, I apologize. Always take accountability. When you've done something wrong to someone, take accountability for it. Don't just push that mess, don't just push that mistake that you made on someone else. Take that responsibility. And you know what? I've had that happen to me a bunch of times. And with that said, some people think that, Zach, he's sitting down. We can push this on him and he won't bother, he's sitting down, he don't bother him. But let me tell you something. Just because I'm sitting down means nothing. Because like I said, it's just my balance is why I'm sitting down. It's all my level and spina bifida effects. Excuse me. That's all my level and spina bifida effects. Now, when I say that, this also goes to everyone that's in a wheelchair. No matter what their disability is, mental health is, even to those that are different disabilities that cause them to be in a wheelchair, or anything, any disability, just like I've said, my little brother, no, not blood related. His really good friend that I stuck up for, that calls me his big brother, because he got bullied. And he got bullied because of his cerebral palsy. And I stuck up for him. And I got him, to the right person to tell a name to. And now he calls me his big brother, you know. And that's just long story short. I'm trying to make it a long story short. But that said, just because a person has a disability, or maybe they have multiple disabilities, you know, there might be more than one part of their disability, you know. Maybe they have cancer, but at the same time, they have spina bifida, or they have, you know, cerebral palsy, or whatever the disability is. You know, what I'm saying is maybe they have more than one disability. You know, then that can happen. You can have more than one disability all combined into one thing, you know, into one thing, into one person. You know, can have more than one disability. But let me tell you something. Even though someone has a disability, they're still 100% human, with a 100% different, but also 100% true story about them. So always keep that in mind. No matter a person's disability, they always will have and do have a 100% different, but also 100% true story about them. Even if you don't understand that, you know, that what that person says that they have, you know, you don't understand that person's disability. Okay, that's okay. That's more than okay. That's 100% okay that you don't understand. But at the same time, ask questions of what you don't understand. And you'll be surprised of just how much human that person is when you ask questions. You know, some people just, you know, that they see you a different, you know, act a different way. And all of a sudden, boom, they're gone. You know, there's no ifs and buts about it, they're all gone. But again, they chose, you know, they chose not to ask questions and try to understand what you're saying. Those are judgmental people. And I say this like this because I deal with it more than I can tell you. I dealt with it a bunch my whole life. But again, there are those good people out there. I promise you that. There are really good people out there. And, you know, take somebody that's been hurt their whole life, or that's been, you know, through so much damage. And finally you get that right, yeah, you know, that person that treats you right. You get a person that treats you right. But at the same time, you know, they see you still on the low side, you know, they see you, what you're going through. You know, they see you kind of, you know, acting out, you know, you act on what you've been through. And I get it 100%. It can be aggravating, especially when it's something that you've never been through. But at the same time, ask questions. Now, like I said, what questions to ask, that's on, yeah, that's 100% on you, of what questions you ask. but ask questions. And you'll be surprised that even that person in a wheelchair or on a walker, that person in a wheelchair, that person walking with a walker, those walking with crutches or walking with the walking cane, you'd be surprised of how much truth that they tell. And like I said, if you make mistakes, which we all do, I've made plenty, and I own up to it. Just as I owned up, saying, look, I haven't done daily check-in every day, but here's why. When I messed up my arm. I've owned up to it. And that's what a lot of people don't do. They don't own up to their mistakes. They try to push it on different reasons. And that's what I'm saying. Oh, my nose itches. But that's what I'm saying. Own up to own up to your mistakes. Like I said, so many people are going through a whole hell of a lot right now. With some people go through months, even years of depression. Why? Because of all the hell that they've been through. And yes, people, even myself, I talk about it. Like things that I've been through up until this point, until 36 years old. But guess what? That's what I've been through. And again, it's not to mess with anybody's mindsets. It's to get that off my chest, because that's what I've been through. So with that said, if you're someone that's watching this and maybe you're going through a lot, talk about it. Talk about it. That's what I'm here for. To help you through anything that you go through or also have been through, and motivate and inspire as well. And that's what I always try to do. I try to build people up, especially when they're down, because I know what that's like. You see so many people up here, but then you see so many people down here, right? And those people that are down here, are just like the people up here. They're just like the people up here, except they get pushed down so much because of all the hell they go through. So the people up here, we people up here, let's hold up. Let's take these people down here, grab them by the hand, and we pull them up to where we're right here. And we're right there with each other. Because, again, those people that are down here, they're just like the people up here. These people down here just went through a ton more than a lot of people have been through. And that's pushed them down to this level. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you from this level to this level. I'm here to bring you up. Again, like I said, I know I haven't done daily check-ins or mental health check-ins every day. I know that. But again, I've had a lot of things going. As you saw that I showed you my elbow. But of course, you really can't see because you can't see my elbow. Obviously, the skin because I've got it covered up. But still, I've shown you. So keep your head up and keep being you. Keep smiling. Think positive thoughts. And I know that's easier said than done. I know that's easier said than done. Because a lot of people go through a lot of crap. A lot of people go through a lot of hell. And sometimes, like I said, it's more than what some people understand. And that's okay not to understand. But when you don't understand, ask questions about what you don't understand. And trust me when I say, you're going to be surprised when you ask those questions of what the real answers are, of what answers are that you get in response to those questions. I love y'all. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching, for all the likes, the shares, the comments, and all 668 subscribers that I just saw just about 30 minutes ago before I posted this. Because now we are at 668 subscribers for the very first time. And that's because of you all. I always try to do what I can. I always try to do like the mental health check-ins, and talk about the subscribers. When we reach a certain goal, or we reach a certain level new of subscribers. I always try to bring the positive vibes your way. Why? Again, because this is something that I love doing. And I care so much about people. Also because that's how I was born and raised. It's not it's not what I went through. Obviously, like I've told you all. But that's not what I went through, isn't who I am. That's what I've been through, but that's not who I am. I'm the one that likes to motivate, inspire, and always be there for others, And like I said, that's why I do mental health check-ins. Because like I said, there's so many people out there that aren't here right now because they went through so much depression. And you know what? That's not cool at all. That's not cool at all. And I try to be here so you have somebody that you can lean on, somebody that you can put all of your situations on, that I can look at and say, okay, this is what you're going through. This is how I would handle it your situation. If I was in your situation, this is how I would handle things. But with that said, I love y'all. I can't thank you enough again for all the likes, the shares, the comments, and all 668 subscribers. I stumbled. Thank you all for 668 subscribers. Keep going. Keep being you. Much love. And let's get it.